Hello and welcome to your second video tutorial in Unit 5, talking about arrays and array lists. Last time we mentioned the differences between these. There are many differences, but the most important one, of course, is that an array you can't add items to, while an array list you can. Of course, the arrays take up less memory, making them useful in certain situations, while array lists take up more memory, but if you need something to be manipulated, array lists are generally what you use. However, there are some ways that you can cheat with arrays. So in this lesson, we're going to talk about how to manipulate items in an array and an array list, and when it's appropriate to use which type of structure. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at our program that we started last time, arrays and lists, and we have a variable called strings, which I'm actually going to turn into an array list because I want to make a basic point. So let's start with array lists here. So this is an array list of strings, and we don't need to do it this way. And of course, all of our methods are a little broken. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of them. There we go. All right, so strings is a new array list of strings. Oh, and we need to make sure that when you're using the constructor, you include the method at the end. We can add to strings like this. We can add more to strings like this. Not hello world, that's boring. How about hooked on a feeling, da, 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 I'm tired of believing that you're in love with me. It's not really a good song, is it? Looks like you don't need to have string in here. You can just do the diamond, since we already told it that it was going to be an array list of strings above. All right, so there we have an array list with the variables hooked on a feeling here. Now, what if we wanted to add the rest of the lyrics to this array? Well, to this list. Well, we could. In fact, if we make a new method down here, we can call it complete song. And we're going to run complete song. And complete song's goal is to put in the rest of the lyrics to this verse. So let's see, strings.add, I'm high, believing, and it goes on and on and on. This will work, right? If we run this, we go system.out.println, and we print out strings. Oops, strings. This will work, and you can actually do this twice. Once before you make the method call, and once after, and you can see that it does work. So let's go ahead and just do that real quick. All right. So there it is. Those are the lyrics of the song. If we did this with an array, though, it would not work. So let's go ahead and try that. So we're going to make a new array. We'll call it, it's an array of strings, so that's string brackets, and we'll call it lyrics, or string, I'll just call lyrics. And of course we can synthesize that like we did last time. So hooked on a feeling. Okay, so there's lyrics. And now if we try to do lyrics.add, we're going to get an error. Because lyrics is an array, and you can't just add to an array. The reason why is because arrays are of fixed length. So when you initialize this array of 4 items, of 4 elements, it's stuck on 4 elements. It's hooked on 4 elements, actually. You can't add more. So you have a couple options if you want to add items to an array. And this works if it's, if you still need an array, you don't need to manipulate too many things, and it's still small. This is okay. It does cost a little bit of extra memory than just strings.add does, but you know, if it's still going to be a small thing, it's not a big deal. You can actually create a new array and add that new word into it. In fact, you could create the entire array that you need. So you could say string array new lyrics equals, and we can get everything from here. And of course, there are methods to join arrays and things like that. I'm not using that right now, just for demonstration purposes. Right, so there's that. So we have our new array, new lyrics, and now we can set our lyrics array equal to new lyrics. So what we've actually done is we've created a new array, then we've set the value of our variable to that new array. So we're kind of reassigning it. Now, is that great? No, it's not great, but sometimes it's just what you have to do with arrays if you want to keep your memory usage small. And of course, if we run it, we'll see that we'll get apparently nothing. Something's going on here. Did I forget a comma? Maybe this? Oh, that's interesting. I'm not sure why it's showing up this way. Maybe we have to start it like this. No, that's not really it. Interestingly, maybe you just can't print out arrays like that. It's very possible. We did this last time and it worked fine. So yeah, okay. So it's just that you can't print out arrays like this. But certainly it does work. It'll create, you know, all these terms are now stored in lyrics, so it works fine. So that's how you would add items to an array. What if you need to remove items? We'll make another method. We'll put it down here. And we'll just have this try to remove the last item. So if we wanted to remove the last item of strings, we could just say strings.remove. I think this is a thing. Strings.remove. No. Let's Google it real quick. Remove last item from ArrayList. Java. Got it. So we could say strings.size -1. It takes an integer. Okay. That's still an error. Oh, it's got to be removed. Okay. So it takes an integer. So the integer is the index of the element you want to remove. This will remove the last one. If you want to remove the first one, you could type 0, and it'll work just fine. And then if you print it out, you should get what did we do? Oh, remove last. Oh no, it's not remove last item. It's remove item. You should get something removed from the array, which is great. Now, of course, if you wanted to do it with, from the array list. If you wanted to do this with an array, you'd need to do the thing where you remove the item from the array, create a new one, and then set it equal to your variable. A little bit annoying, but that is the trade-off. Okay. All right, last piece. What if we want to sort the values of an array into just by their value? Let's just say ascending order. So sorting is something that is a whole new topic in of itself. But if we want to, let's just say do a very basic sorting thing. We want to get every even number from an array of numbers into a new array. So we're going to go ahead and delete these. We don't need these anymore. You can actually do this with an array list or an array. It doesn't really matter. Sorting is nice because it'll work really well on both of them. Some of the algorithms we'll talk about with the help of CS50 next class really work better with either an array list or an array, but we're not going to get on those right now. So let's just start with just an array. We'll have this be an array of integers. And we'll count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, there's an array, and we'll call this numbers. Okay, now if we want to do this, we probably want to make another array list as well of integers called even numbers. Okay. Alright, so if we wanted to put all the even numbers into the even numbers array list, we're going to need to do a for loop, and almost every sorting algorithm uses one of these. So let's go ahead and start a for loop. We'll say int I equals 0, I is less than numbers dot length, I think it is for an array. Yep, length I plus plus. I always get confused if it's length or size. What is this? No, don't care. Okay, so there's that. Good. So now what we need to do is we need to check the value of each of these numbers. So we'll say int current number is equal to numbers at I. Alright, so how do we check if something is even or odd? We use the modulo. If current number modulo 2. Remember, if it's even, it's going to be divisible by 2, and its remainder will be 0. So there's that. Alright, so if it is, we want to put current number into our even numbers array list, and that's going to be really easy because we can just say even numbers dot add current number. See, if this array list was an array, if we set our code up wrong, that would be really annoying because we'd have to create the new array every single time we wanted to add a new entry to it. This is a case where that would not be a good idea, and it's better to use an array list. Alright, super duper, and after we're done, we should probably print it out just to check. So and if you're any sort of mathematician, it should say 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's see. Oh, you know what? We have to initialize this first. Even numbers equals new array list diamond. There you go. Alright, now let's try. There it is. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So we're getting that error before because we had declared even numbers as a variable, but we didn't initialize it yet. Alright, so that's just one example of sorting. We sorted these, I guess not really sorting, but it's sort of sorting. And actually, that's the subject of your next project, where you're going to sort a variable, or an array of items based on their value. We sorted these based on their value. We put even numbers into an array, but you'll figure out what to do for the next one. Right, that's it for now, and you should head on over to project 5.1, I think it is, for your next task. Enjoy.